Welcome back to Proxy, everybody. And today I have Kim with me, who has recently competed in a pretty large grand tournament and would like to talk about his unorthodox Eldari Windrider list. How you doing today, Kim?
Hello, Proxy. Yeah, this is Kim. Greetings from Finland.
Excellent, man. So when you emailed me about this, I expected something a lot different. So we have a picture here of the list itself.
Yeah,
And when you normally think of Windrider hosts,
right,
at least for me, I think of just nothing but Windriders and maybe some Shroud Runners, but just
right.
everything on a bike basically, and maybe Eldrad. But this
Mhm.
list, when I saw it, I immediately thought, oh, this is a Warhost list or something like that. But it's actually Windrider host, right?
Right,
So,
right.
and you actually did pretty well in the event. Winning several games in the event against some pretty good players, running
Yeah,
some, arguably more meta things than this. So, what I would
sure.
like to ask you is how did you come up to build this list? Like, what was the inspiration behind it? And what would you like people to know about it in the process of creating
Okay. Yeah, you asked all the good questions.
it?
Yeah, basically, I mean, first of all, I want everybody who's listening this to know I am not a GT winner or I'm not a super ETC player. No, no, no. Don't get me wrong. Okay, I'm just one of your guys. I'm just one of the 80% average elder players. I get that one clear first, okay? And then let's go ahead from here. Yeah. So yes, this tournament just finished last weekend. It's called Talvisota. It's finished. It means Winter War. It's to honor the what actually happened about 80 years ago. What happened, the war, between the Finland and one of the neighbors. If some of you are interested, you can go to Google it. So this is not only for 40K. This has more than 10 games, maybe 15 games, different board games and cards games. So it's like a fun event, yeah, through the weekend. 40K is just being one of the games, but it's a big part. Probably it's the biggest one. This year, we have 115 players to participate in the 40K event. It has been the biggest ever Finnish 40K tournament. So a big shout out to all the organizers who has put in their heart and sweat. And it was an excellent event. Uh, After said all that, when I go there, you see, I'm not like a regular tournament player, Proxy. I don't
Mm-hmm.
go every 2 months. Actually, to be honest, uh, I'm about once a year. As we saw this winter war or winter assault is the tournament for me because the timing of the year and also the tradition. I go with few friends. We have fun as a group. So basically, I'm a guy. Let's say I play once a week. I'm a family man, have few kids, work. Average person.
Yeah.
That's why once a week I'm not chasing for ranking top 10 in the country. No, no, nothing to do. But why I want to go is once or twice a year, I go to tournament because I want to play the game correctly. You know, if I don't go any tournament, just with my local guys, local buddies, we play whatever. Maybe we got the rules wrong. We never even knew. Then we just keep playing the wrong way. And by going to some tournament, I need to prepare rather seriously, and those really check the rules. If I have confusions, I ask a few friends, clear it out, and okay, keep myself gaming in the zone. Right? That's
Mm-hmm.
my main purpose actually going to tournament. And of course, second the reason was I'm going to meet my friends. I have many friends through the years. Some of them are really dedicated like a Finnish WTC players. Some of them is a regular tournament player. Some of them also just go there, have fun, meet friends. And this is why, my background is like this. So you get the picture cleared. Okay, so I don't want somebody to mistake this interview or this podcast as somebody giving some really special sauce, how to do very technical things. No, then probably don't let me waste your time.
Well, it's never a waste of time talking to you, I'll tell you that, because you always
Yeah,
have interesting
thanks,
insights.
man.
And strangely enough, I
Thanks,
think
man.
it's actually the average Eldari player that has some of the, most valuable insights sometimes, just because
Thank you.
it's a different perspective than what a lot of the top players have. And perspective is everything.
True. True. Okay, I will continue the earlier question you had. Like, for example, how did I come up with this weird list?
Yeah,
Can you actually can we first tell people? Can you tell people what I have in this list?
absolutely. So
Yeah.
we have an Autarch on foot, Eldrad, and you guys can see it up on the screen here. A Farseer, Lycus, of course. For a battle line, we have 3 units of 3 Windriders with shuriken cannons. We have 2 units of 6 Windriders with shuriken cannons. No scatter lasers, and a little bit less Windriders than the normal Windrider list here. But we go on to other data sheets, and we have 5 Dark Reapers with Tempest Launcher, 5 Fire Dragons with Fire Pike, 5 Banshees Executioner, 5 Banshees Executioner. So there's 2 squads there. 2 squads of Rangers, 1 squad of Shining Spears, 1 squad of Shroudrunners, 1 Warwalker, 3 Warlock Skyrunners, and Warp Spiders with the Power Blade Array, probably with Lycus.
All right. Isn't it a weird list? Huh?
It is a bit weird. It
Even
is a
for
bit
elder
weird.
player.
Yeah, even absolutely, even for
Yeah.
an Eldar player, because we know Eldar players can come up with some really weird stuff. But the more I look at this
Right.
list, the more I think that this is designed for a specific
Yes.
set of missions, opponents, and you have a
Absolutely.
strategy behind it. So why don't you go into
Absolutely.
it and just let us know
All
what
right.
is the grand strategy
Yes.
here?
Let's go. Let's go. So basically, actually, I got this idea. Of course, I need to choose. Yeah. Before I go, like a couple months ago, I start preparing. And after we got we got hit, we got nerfed very heavily. Right there, I knew, okay, I'm not. I see we share the same pain in a way.
Yeah. Yep.
Right there, I decided, okay, I'm not going with the, the the usual list because why? When they basically, I consider like when somebody abuse you in a way. I mean, what it
Yeah.
and what you still take the abuse. Okay, fine. Okay, I will cut down my units. Yeah, whatever you do to me, I just do it. No, 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 no. That's not my personality. Okay, you do whatever you want to do. If I had enough of it, I'll drop it. Okay, I will turn to other detachment. Of course, then it comes to what is available for me, and what I'm more like also style. There are so many styles, so many detachments. You know, in Elder Codex. So then I look at it. Okay, there's Seer Console. Yes, of course I hear, and you also have talked about it, and also the Battle Host, the Guardian Host, and also, but then because I had no time, I haven't had time to really look into it. But then the Wind Rider has always been a little bit, behind my mind. Like I want to do it, I want to try it, and then I started really looking at it. When you really look into it, you will start to combine with your own style, your own some strategies start forming in your mind. That's what happened to me when I was reading it, I start thinking, okay, I can do that with this, I can do that with this. And little by little, once I read all the stratagems or the core units, already maybe 60 to 70% of the list already formed. Then okay, let's go to try it because in the end, what works on the table is the most important, yeah, than in the paper. So okay, then through the process, I would say my final list, what you just read with our audience, it's like I would say 300 to almost 400 points difference with the list I started with. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and in the beginning also I tested bigger units with the Wind Rider, like for example 3 squad of 6 and double short runners and actually double farseers,
Mm-hmm.
weirdly enough. Because for me, of course, I read and I watch what's the meta, also for good elder players. But I always use it as a reference. I never just copy because I knew that's not my list. Doesn't matter how copy paste I do, I cannot get it to work because that's not mine. So I start testing, and then I realized, for example, when the 3 units, 6 is for me, I found it very hard to maneuver, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And nowadays there's so many powerful guns in the game. Whenever they just need to see half of the pace of one model in among the 6 unit, among the 6 model, that's enough. A
Right.
round of rapid fire, heavy bolter, they can already cut down half of them, or even worse scenario, take out the whole unit. So not worth the risk. Then okay, I cut it down, and also at some point, I had a D cannon even. I tested the D cannon because my grand strategy, as you worded, was or still is, because for Wind Riders we have one special stratagem, 6-inch deep strike. And that has been the number one stratagem through my whole tournament. And as soon as I told this here in this channel, I will never take this detachment tournament again. Because Finland is a small country and the community is rather small. Once I reveal my so-called secrets, then there's no more secrets, isn't it, Proxy? Okay, I'm not gonna play it again, this detachment, but I can share the information with the other elder players who want to try in their local meta. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 6-inch deep strike. Nothing new. We always had it, but for elder, this is pretty cool. And what is the detachment rule? We can always consider the current round one higher, which means round one, our reserves can already come in. Okay. Connect these two together. And you can check on my okay, with the games when we go through each round, we will show to audience also how I did my scoring. And 4 out of 5 rounds, I choose fixed secondary, which is behind enemy line and establish locus. That's the action one.
Right.
I know you can see, but once we go through, then everybody can see.
Mm-hmm.
And when I first want to do it, the thing is, okay, let's say we're not talking about the game. Let's talk something in general. You go to a war, you go to a battle. If everybody know, okay, you have 2,000 points, I have 2,000 points. You have something anti-tank, I have too. Anti-infantry, me too. So it's like nothing new. We expect there's some heavy hitter, close combat. We expect some long-range vehicle shooting, and then nothing new, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but how you can, before the game even start, give the opponent a little bit something, let's say, psychological warfare. We are talking much grander strategy than just a 40K game. Okay,
Right.
so what is my psychological warfare? we always use the app in the phone to set up the game before we start, and then okay, so you go tactical, okay, you go tactical. Oh, me too. But this time, that's the moment when I started warfare psychologically. The opponent asked me, "So are you going tactical?" I pretend I was thinking, but actually I already decided. I said, "No, sorry, I will go fixed." I'm telling you, man, 4 games I did that. All my opponents are like, "What?" They raise their head, look into my eye. Then I look back. They're rather confused, like, "What? Did I hear something wrong? Somebody are taking fixed secondaries." Because nobody do it. Nobody do it. Have you? When was last time you played with somebody, with the fixed secondaries?
When I played against Windrider Host.
All
That's
right.
the last time. Yeah.
Cool.
But
Yeah.
usually
And
never.
not many people.
Yeah.
Exactly. That is my first, like, how do you say? I throw a stone into a very peaceful lake,
Hmm.
a pond maybe. Yeah. So first, what? A little confusion already started in their head. And then, okay, yeah, then, okay, I choose this one and that one, these two as my fix. They're like, okay, well, why this guy doing this? Like, oh, well, not everybody is so quick to adjust, to adapt, to improvise. Do you agree with me?
Oh, 100%.
Not everyone.
Yeah.
You have to be really super, like a rather high level. I would say you either have to be a very seasoned tournament player or in the WTC level. You're like, okay, yeah, whatever you do, I improvise right away. Next second, I do it. Most people, they are so used to every round, you take two secondary, I take two secondary. Then we're like, you come my back and all this. But nobody do that like a fixed. So that's already first. And then second, I tell them what I choose. I tell everything in advance. This is what we are promoting the style in Finland. We
Hmm.
don't do this gotcha moments, and we always be very open to our opponent. Of course, I'm not telling you all my strategies, but I tell you what I can do, what I might do, and then I'm not gonna to make a trap. Then then it's bad for the community in general. So I tell the guy, I can calm down already in the first turn. I give you the information. What you do is your responsibility. All right. But trust me, not everybody can really react, really understand. So what I'm gonna do? They know they should screen better, but it's not easy, really. It's very hard to screen out a
Yeah.
6-inch big stripe.
Oh, 100%.
And now comes to my 3 units of Warlock Skyrunner. There might be audience don't know what they are or what is it. It's just one biker with a 32 millimeter base. Then you can imagine how small the base is. So basically, with one model, 6-inch deep strike is almost impossible to screen out. I'm not saying totally 100%, but most cases. And through the games, 4 out of 5, I did the same fixed secondaries. And another consideration, because this time in the Winter Assault tournament, every round is only 3 hours, so the timing is rather tight. So when I put my mindset to fixed secondaries, especially I have a very concrete missions, then I can save time. You can imagine how much time I save, because I'm just gonna drop 1 unit, one model in the first return. Later on, we will see what unit is available, and then I can just concentrate on killing the opponent's units. I can just concentrate on primaries. You got my point. So I can focus much better.
Yeah,
I can be less distracted. And that is the bigger picture, behind the whole list construction.
right.
I might
I
make myself clear.
Oh, 100%. And I think that is a huge strength of Windrider Host is that you can really minimize the amount of time you take to plan your turnout, because a lot of the
Yes,
times you
yes,
are drawing your secondaries thinking to yourself, can I realistically score that? How hard is it? How many resources am I going to have to spend scoring it? Etc. And it can take you a good
yes,
5 minutes or more sometimes. I've seen players just sit there and
exactly.
think for 10 minutes about what they want to do. However, with
Yeah.
Windrider Hosts, it's zero time. You know exactly what you're going to do. You're going to drop them in. You're
Yeah,
going to score behind enemy lines and establish locus for 7, you know, and that's it.
yeah,
And maybe more if you can get another unit behind there potentially,
exactly,
you know.
exactly. If you later on when we go through, you'll see in the beginning few rounds, okay, just 7 points, but later on, I can quite a few of the game I got 8 points, which is like 4 points. But
100%.
okay, let's go back there. So also one idea is nowadays the tournament are, I would say, quite all the lists are quite good. All the lists are quite good and powerful, and also the meta nowadays. You see, you notice my Eldred and the Foxier, they go alone. Nobody guard,
Right.
no Storm Guardians, right? Usually you take a Storm Guardian with Eldred or something. Nobody, only Eldred and my Foxier on foot. Of course, this is a gamble, right? All right. I'm not saying this is 100%. You should do it. No, no, no. But this is me. After my analyzation, I decide to take the risk. Maybe you call me a gambler. Okay, then maybe I got lucky. But the fact is, in all 5 games, no indirect weapon hit Eldred or hit my Fossil. Actually, in all 5 rounds I played, only one opponent had an indirect weapon. You see,
Right.
this. Let's say my betting or my gambling didn't just come out of nowhere. It has. I follow. What's going on. The indirect is not the big thing now. Most people don't take it, and even the one I have encountered during the tournament is a 24-inch from a big bird, Chaos Demon guy. So if he comes so deep into 24, want to, let's say, put some indirect wild dragon, then that also means he's close enough to my fire dragons, close enough to my shining spears, so I can take him out in one turn, in my next turn too. So this is the kind of like a chess play.
Right.
Yeah.
And that makes
And
sense. That
yeah,
makes sense.
the so you come in enough, okay? You get my guy, I'll get you as well. So so it's like that. And if I may, for example, D cannon I mentioned earlier, I was thinking, okay, because okay, all the other rounds are fine. From second round, I have ways to get why drop one guy in. Okay, let's say, okay, just a 32 millimeter base, very easy drop to the corner, the back line. But then somebody might ask, okay, what about the guy just have 2 units of 10 pox worker? They can screen back. Exactly. That is something I have also considered. So what I do, if I cannot make a 6-inch deep strike from behind, from the back line, okay, let's fly in from the front. Because you can see I have 30, basically 30 mounted models, and they all move 14 inches with a battle focus token that's 16 inches. With 16 inches, once the game starts, let's say from second turn onward, we can always use rapid ingress, right? When after the opponent moved his movement phase, okay, I say, okay, wait on, buddy, let me make a rapid ingress. Then I'm sure there's such a long line there. There has to be one spot. You are 12.1. inches away, so they cannot charge you or shoot you, like find the obscured corner. And then next round, when it's your turn, you put a token so that model can move 16 inches. And there's a, I would say 90% or more chance you'll get that model just cross the deployment zone in your opponent side. And that's it. You put it there, you use one battle focus token, shut down the Overwatch, you put the action die next to it. Okay, this is my guy. This is a suicide guy. Yeah, he has a great mission and he's willing to do it. Shut down Overwatch, make sure the guy's making the action, and that one guy get you 7 VP every single round. As simple as that.
Yeah.
And okay, now comes here. Okay, I said second turn onward. But what about the first turn? So now we are talking about this when there's a problem, what are the solution? Then we need to find the solution. Okay, with our knowledge, with your knowledge about your list, your play style. So we are solving the problem. Let's say when there's a first turn, then there are two situations. One is I go first, one is my opponent go first. Correct? Proxy?
Yes.
So if I go first, what I can do? In Finland, I don't know what about in US, I don't know, but in Finland, usually before the tournament, we tell, let's say, 5 rounds. Every rounds primary, deploy layout. We tell in advance so people can study, practice, and prepare. So when I saw this time in the tournament, we first the two games start with a crucible of battle. So the deployment zone is fairly large, right?
Right.
Then of course I need to consider, okay, I measured all, between the two lines, there are 24 inches. So basically, if I start a turn or my opponent has the turn, I have to have one unit be able to make the 24 plus inches. And which unit can do that? So all these questions, when there's a question, there's an answer. If we give warp spiders 2 inches with a battle focus token, they can do it. And then do the action, shut down the Overwatch, 100% make sure they stay fine. And you can do the same thing as a 6-inch deep strike, drop to the backyard, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's one way. What if the other guy just have all their infantry lined up? There's no space for you to go in. That's also possible. Then we can establish a locus in the center for 2 points, right? It doesn't mean you have to score 0 VP. You still have 2 VP. And then you can still squeeze. I also have, let's say, how do you call it? Estimated. That is a possibility. They just have, let's say, 100 models, foot soldier. They just fill up all his deployment zone. There's no way I can go from front or deep strike. It's possible. Then okay, we do in the middle. Get a fewer point in the first turn. Fine. And then, if possible, another unit can try to squeeze in, because in the behind enemy line, sorry, the what is called? Wait, the locus. Well, see, the small locus is you just need to within the opponent deployment zone. So literally, even just 1 millimeter within, it is still within. So that's why in some map, in Finland we use WTC layout. So I studied in different layout. Like this is the crucible of battle in the right corner. Sorry, in the right flank, around the middle section, in my deployment zone, I could put my 1 unit of short runner because they have the scout move, right?
Right.
I have measured if I go straight 9 inches to the towards the opponent's vertically towards the opponent's deployment zone, which if I got the first turn, I will go straight 9. When it's my turn, I just touch cross 1 millimeter in theory the deployment zone, then that unit to make the locus in enemy's deployment zone, which is good enough. And that's why I wanted to test the D cannon. Like I tell the guy, okay, this is D cannon, range 24 inch, move 7 inch. So if I start, I can move, I can hit your target 24 plus 7. And then I tell how heavy it hurts, devastating wounds. I try to scare them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when you start
Then
rattling
there's a
off that it's,
possibility,
anti tank,
yes,
anti large, AP -4,
everything.
yeah, all that good stuff.
Yeah. And this ray blast. So if you have some elite unit, do you want to hit by this guy? Of course not.
Yeah.
So I put it there. It is possible. The other guy, let's say, okay, oh, okay, wow, okay. Then, of course, he doesn't want to be hit it by that. Then he might put a few inches back with his infantry or whatever.
Hmm.
Then leave a small space for me, right?
Right.
And that was my goal when I tested D cannon. But you know what, Proxy? after two after 2 games, I realized doesn't matter how heavy how much I tell the guy, I warn the guy how heavy the D cannon hits. People don't register in their mind. They just
Right.
or they just don't care. They just don't care. Which means it might not work in the tournament, right? I tell
Right.
people, okay, yeah, sure, okay, hit me, kill a couple infantry. So what? I'm just gonna still rush you when if I got first turn. So people might still do that. That's why after testing games, I was like, okay. Also because Decano is expensive and the result is so swingy, it's not reliable. That is said, okay, I'll take Decano away.
Yeah.
I even tested 1 unit of scorpions also, because they can scout 7. I was thinking, okay, if I can scout 7, then it's closer to the opponent's. Let's say I put them infiltrate 9. And if I can scout 7, although I have to be 9 inches away, right? From
Right.
enemy's model, not from deployment zone, the scout move. So if the guy happened to put his closest unit few centimeters behind his deployment zone, then I could move quite much closer to his deployment zone. And then if I got first turn, which usually, because if I got first turn, I will move scorpions forward, right? But then in couple test game, I also found it's quite tricky to really get it in there because there are always infantry around. You cannot go straight line. Once you go sideways, then the movement is not enough. So it's not ideal. That's why I also dropped that one. You see, all
Right.
these theories is good. If you discover something, that's always good. Means you're thinking, but does it work? You have to test it in real life. So eventually, I noticed also for Banshee, in the beginning I only have 1 unit with Altar. Of course, they hit hard, fight first, advance and charge, all good. And with the Altar also, I can reroll to advance. All these also a free stratagem I can do, I can use. All these are good, but 1 unit is not enough. That's why once I replace the D cannon away, I put another unit. So the idea is with 2 units, I either control both flank or the middle and the one flank. So I put them either in the first line or I put first in a very cheap unit, then they're behind. Let's say Ranger, I have two units for Ranger. They are infiltrating, they are screening, blocking. They have been very useful. I have been very happy with them. And nowadays there's so many melee armies so fast, crazy. If they got first turn, they could just come through right in front of my deployment zone. Then I say, oh, then we are done. There's no more game anymore. So I have to have two units of Ranger. And then basic Banshee is not far. And because the Ranger has reactive move, depending on the situation, sometimes I move forward to lock them in more, or sometimes if I see them, let's say they move, but still, let's say 4 or 5 inches from Ranger, they don't want to come out from the wall, behind the wall, then okay, fine. Then I react, move with the Ranger. I roll 4 or 5 inches. I pull Rangers back towards my direction. I don't want to waste them. I come here. If you want to charge, you can kill them still, but usually they are much more expensive than Ranger, yeah, the enemy unit. So
Right.
okay. And also because if they charge, my Banshee is like 2 or 3 inches away. So of course I can heroic intervene, yeah, and I fight first, I kill it off.
Get some
So
extra
that's
movement
the
while you're at it.
idea.
Yeah.
Yes. So Banshees is very important in holding the line. So that's why I think with the two Banshees, with two units of small Banshees, I feel very comfortable, very comfortable.
Yeah, that's a
And
really interesting tech also. Not only for the heroic intervention, but also because you have things like overflight available to you, right? So if your opponent does
yes,
move in such a way that is a little bit more conservative, you can play the same game
mhm,
with your big bricks of Windriders by moving out, shooting them,
sure.
dodging back in, using the Banshees almost like a deterrent against anything that would come too close.
Yes, exactly. And okay, now you mentioned my big brick of Wind Rider. The tactic is I have also noticed through practicing when I need to move, I have put magnets under my older Wind Rider or all the mounted units or models, the magnets. So I noticed if I want to move in deployment phase, I want to deploy 666. It takes a lot of time, put on the table because it takes too much time. So what I did is I have three by three Wind Rider, 2 by 6 Wind Rider, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when we are doing the before the game starts or before the deployment starts, I tell my opponent, okay, both 6 men Wind Rider in reserve and 1 3-man Wind Rider reserve and two of the Warlock Skyrunner in reserve. So altogether 490 points. So everything is legit, everything is calculated, and everything is prepared. So I don't have to waste time there. Okay, okay. If I put these two units, how many points? And no, everything is decided. So when it starts, like boom, 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 I tell everything clear in 5 seconds. So I don't have to put all these models, 12 models, on the map or in my zone anymore. Anyway, first turn I can come in. If I have good target, I can come in them from both flank. They don't need 6 inches, from the flank, from the edge. So it's quite easy to set them up. If there's a worthy target, I can hit. Also, I don't have to move because nowadays the fly keyword changes, so you have to go around the building, which is much slower. But now with the reserve, with turn one, reserve units arriving, ability, I can skip all the trouble and I can save time on deployment. So I always put the two big units in reserve.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense for Windrider lists for sure
Mm,
because you can kind of place them
yeah,
wherever you want anyway.
exactly. And also another detachment rule is by the opponent's end, of his turn, you can get two mounted units up back to the reserve. So think about it, how convenient and how flexible, how mobile your army could be. That's why it doesn't matter where they are. As long as they're not in close combat, you can pull them up and then drop them back in when it's your turn.
Right.
So this is special rules, special detachment rules, and a few special stratagems made my plan can work very well. You know? So that is the whole idea in my list building. I hope I didn't stretch it too long.
No, not at all. And I just want to ask one more question, real quick, about the Dark
Yeah,
Reapers. The Dark Reapers, you have a squad of
right,
5 with the Tempest. Is this a tech
right.
for cheap screening units in the backfield, like cultists or things of that nature that you would need to
Sure,
clear?
sure. That's right away. That's the point. And also we have in Finland somehow we have the elder players are quite popular. So I have also prepared little from other elder brothers,
Yeah,
for the Civil War.
for sure, man. Yep.
I even we have 7 elder players, in this tournament. So of course, I didn't know before I saw the list that, but I have to prepare for it. So just one unit, maybe I hit some screening unit, maybe not. I don't know. But one good thing with a Dark Reaper is not only killing those weaker units, it's also because they have long range. So as I told you, the tournament schedule is tight. I do not. So okay, once how do I screen my back? Usually 3 Windrider on the left, Dark Reaper on the right. Then in the middle, I put one single Warlock Skyrunner. Usually I screen like this, unless there's a 6-inch deep strike possibility for the opponent. I maybe put one more unit or something to screen. Otherwise, when I put boom, it's done in my deployment. In the first 3 turns, I'm not touching it. So it will be just their screening. No, I can concentrate on other units and moving, going. I don't even spend any second to move around with these 3 units. So then little later in the game, when there's needed, Dark Reaper can just come out a little bit, find the line of sight, and start shooting their 48 inches range guns. So that was the reason why I took one unit of Dark Reaper.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so I really like the list. Let's go ahead and talk about
Mhm.
the games. So,
Yeah.
day one, Chaos Demons was your first game, right?
Yes, that
Yep.
was my first game. And the player Mika, he's a very good player. He has won couple times domestic tournaments, so he's very experienced, and he has been playing the demon for, as I noticed, let's say the last couple years. So he's quite a action focused also, and he is a better player than me. So I have no regret. Let's say I lost like 20, about 20 points. No regret. Of course, I can play better. Of course, I can. Of course, I can. But it's the first game in a tournament. Always your once when they say, okay, game starts now, boom, you know, part of your brain go blank.
Right, right, of course. Especially with an army
Always,
like
always.
demons. Yeah.
Yeah, it is also very aggressive and a very dangerous army. I
Yeah.
had I had a little experience with it because in my local community, my buddy Nico is playing demon, and thanks to him, I learned the basic knowledge about Chaos Demon Army. So that's why I can get some points.
Right, right.
Otherwise, I think I'll be totally murdered. And but one thing I'm proud. As I told you earlier, the psychological warfare part.
Hmm.
Even Mika is a very experienced player, and he asked me, "So you go tactical too, right, Kim?" I said, "Actually, I do fixed." He said, "What?"
Well,
And
you
that's exactly
certainly,
the reaction I wanted.
yeah. You scored a lot of points for secondary, you know.
Secondary
So
almost 7 is like the minimum per round.
right.
It's
Yeah, no, no,
crazy.
no.
It's crazy.
It's wild how many secondary points Windrider Host can consistently put up. And yes, he
Yeah.
dominated the primary game, but
Yes.
typically with an experienced Chaos Demons player, they do anyway, just because of how their rules
Yes.
work and so forth. So yeah, I think this was
Yeah,
a
exactly.
pretty good match. It's also Terraform. I mean, this is like a
Yeah.
bad matchup
It's
for
difficult.
Eldari, you know,
Very bad. Yeah.
especially
Very
bad
bad.
for
Very
Windrider Host in particular.
bad.
So I
But
think you
hey,
did pretty good.
I tested the secondary. It worked beautifully.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And somehow in this particular matchup, let's say I dropped my Warlock Skyrunner the first return. Every turn, one guy volunteer, yeah, goes in there. Deep strike, 6 inches, pay a CP, shut down Overwatch. Okay, he just stays there, do the duty, get the 7 points. And the funny thing is, was it the first three turn? Could be even the fourth turn. Every turn I drop one guy there, like it's exactly the same spot. You know why? Because the demon player they have to be, let's say all the bigger birds and these bigger monsters, they have to be close to each other. Like okay, let's say for example, I can't remember detail, but let's say 12 inches within the aura, 6 inches within here. You got something ability, so they cannot go too far from each other. So
Right.
what happens is in their right flank, in my opponent's right flank, there's just a little space enough for me to squeeze one model. And then, of course, they have powerful shooting weapon too. Okay, they shoot him off. The next turn, the same space left.
Yep.
I put the second guy. Next turn, the space still there. But okay, some audience say the player is bad. Why he doesn't move it to the right to screen you out? Okay, sure he can do it. But what does that mean? They have to break their sort of format, and no chaos demon, especially for the bigger demon player, just for to screen out one spot, move couple bigger units or bigger monster units just to more little bit move to the flank to screen out. They have much more important task to do. You see,
100%.
here is the key. They cannot. They know that's gonna happen, but there's nothing they can do about it. That
Yeah.
is part of the psychological warfare.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, demon players have to control the midboard or everything just
Yeah,
starts to fall apart for them. So, yeah, that makes total sense that you'd be able
yeah,
to just max
yeah.
out the points. So, that was the
And they don't have
first.
much models. They don't have much units.
Yeah, a lot of big character models and, not very
Yes,
many like little infantry units for sure.
exactly.
Um okay, so that was game 1. Hard matchup, hard mission. Let's go to game 2, which I have right here against Death Guard.
Yeah,
A Death Guard,
yes,
very tough
that's correct.
army, but you
Very tough.
dominated the game.
Yeah,
So tell me a
and the
little bit about that.
particular list had yes, I will get it. The particular list had 10. Let me also put my opponent's list up so we can know a little better what's going on. So this is second game. My opponent had, of course, all these characters, and uh, the detachment is virulent Victorian. A lot of lords, and then Taliman is there giving CP. He had 10 these Blight Lord Terminators, one big unit with a character, and have 3 units of Death Shroud Terminators, 5 in each unit. And all 3 Death Shroud Terminators are in Deep Strike. And the 10 plus 1 big Terminator units are the one he's pushing to the middle, taking control in the midfield, while all the other this these drones shooting and taking flanks. So was his like main strategy. And again, I played fixed, and also because my opponent has quite an elite army, elite units, they don't have that many numbers, and deployment is the same. Crucible battle. So basically, what I did is also I told the guy, I can come down from first turn. I'm gonna use the 6-inch deep strike. I'm gonna shut down the Overwatch. So you decide what you do. And there's nothing he can do. So I repeated the whole thing through the whole game. And in the end of the game, of course, I start killing his unit, and then at some point I start having 2 units in his deployment zone, which means I can get 8 points instead of only 7 from every round. That's why the secondary are almost maxed. And the primary also I did better. And because Death Guard, for me, the biggest problem for Death Guard is they're so slow. And as you can see, my list is minimum movement for the mounted is 14. So I have all the advantages, positioning, and whenever my bigger units of Windrider comes down, basic 6 shuriken cannon, I have faster, so I guide to the bigger group. For example, I guide it, I doom it. So my shuriken cannon hit on 2, but of course I position away so the Terminator bigger Terminator group is the closest unit. Then I can reroll my hit roll, and of course I fishing for the lethal, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the Lycus is there. If Lycus is, if I can move it mobile enough, I hit with Lycus first, and that means when my big unit of wind, actually all the Shroud Runner, all the Wind Rider shooting, then the explode at a 5+. Imagine with a full reroll, I got a lot of 5+. And when the stratagem in Wind Rider detachment is once a mounted unit arrives from reserves, you can give 1 CP to reroll to wound, 1 CP to give extra AP. So my Shuriken cannon suddenly become AP2, hit on 2, and explode lethal on 5, and full reroll, and AP2 damage 2, and reroll to wound. Imagine this amount of reliability. And if I use Warworker to hit the same unit, that gives 1 more AP. So Shuriken Cannon AP3, and Shroud Runner to the Sniper Rifle to the same target, take the cover save away. So AP3, ignore cover, reroll to wound, damage 2. That kills a lot of stuff, exploding on 5.
Yeah.
You got that picture.
Yeah, I mean, it really trades up really
And
hard against tough targets, that's for sure.
really. And combined with Doom, so I really can take Knight down like a big Knight in one go with both units. Of course, I have other long range, also everything joined. I have in my testing games, I have taken one Knight down just in one go because these shuriken cannons are interesting weapon. Normally, they don't look so scary. Yeah? Strength 6, AP1, damage 2. But once you combine with all these buffs, it becomes AP3, reroll to wound, and exploding on 5. And then if you even you want a harder target, because of Doom, you wound on 4. And with the reroll, it's better than 3.
Oh,
So,
100%.
you know,
Yep.
when this
And
all adding up,
yeah, and you also have guide in the list, which is something that a lot of Windrider players don't take. And I think this just
yes, I love
multiplies it even
guide.
further. Yeah.
Exactly. One thing when they changed let's say a long time ago, when they changed a lot of things in Elder fighting, the biggest bothering for me is all this shooting and all this it's not reliable anymore. Like my war worker. Notice I give both bright lines. I didn't take one lance, one scatter laser, yeah, just to hit. Because for me, of course, get one extra AP is cool. But you know, if I cannot even roll a 3+, okay, I deserve to not have that extra AP. That's my mentality, you know. Uh,
Yeah.
my war worker, I'm so proud of war worker. You know, I'm gonna hit you with bright lance. I'm gonna hit both bright lance on your face. And actually, by through the whole tournament, my war worker performed very well. Only once when I need to, you know, destroy some bigger target, they hit it well. Actually, it's 2+ to hit because of guide. But then when I wound, I only need a 2+ to wound, also because of Doom. But you
Mhm.
know what? I 2 hits, I roll Snake Eyes to wound. So double one with the
Oh god.
wounding. I was so pissed. I was like, of course this can happen, you know. But that's just laugh at it, you know. It's
Yeah.
just part of the game.
Yep.
Part
Very
of the
true.
game.
Very true. That's really funny.
All right.
And yeah, I like that
Yeah,
you
it
kept the
is.
bright lances on there because you do
Yeah,
have
yeah.
guide, which shows that, your list is operating on a different level than what people would normally think of when
Certainly.
they think of Windrider Host. So that's cool.
Certainly.
All right.
Yep.
So game three, let's talk about that. Whoops. Too
Mm-hmm.
far there. Game three was against Emperor's Children.
Empire's Children, yes, that was interesting. I remember the game. Yeah, the guy is a very cool guy, Henry, and we had lots of fun. And yeah, um, Empire's Children. I don't know, is everybody familiar with how they fight? Basically, it is a very tough army. They have this special army-wide rule: is all the units can advance and shoot normally and charge. Yeah, whole unit advance, shoot, and charge. So imagine, let that sink into you if you have never fight with them. It's, it's not an easy army.
Yeah, it's pretty
And
deadly.
my opponent, no, it's powerful, powerful. And my opponent, Henry, he came with 3 demon prince with wings. 3 demon prince with wings, and some lord characters, and close combat, you have these infractors, and also 3 units of noise marine, tormentors, yeah, some close combat guys, and a couple rhinos. So the noise marines, of course, they have their fame spread through the 40K world. They are horrible, you know, when they're shooting at you. But the same strategy.
Yeah.
And this time the you can see the third round is hammer and anvil, which means the deployment zone is much bigger, much
Yeah.
bigger than the crucible battle. And there's no way he can stop my secondary. No way. So I
Yep.
did again the fixed.
Yeah, and you scored higher primary in this as well. And I
Yeah.
honestly, when I think of Emperor's Children, I think Windrider Host probably
Mm,
has a better matchup against them just as far as being able to kill their models. You know, you don't have a
yeah.
lot of really high toughness skew coming from Emperor's Children, so being able to deal with
Yeah.
at the highest, right? The Demon Prince.
Mm,
Well,
yes.
they're really your army deals with them quite well because it's not just running strength 6 throughout the whole army. You're
Yes.
running Doom, you have Guide, you have these things that allow you to
Yes.
punch up against those types of targets. So even like, the
Exactly.
5 fire dragons can take out a demon prince, right, with Guide and Doom. Hitting on 2s,
Yeah. With the
re-rolling,
big.
wounding
Yeah.
on, 3s, re-rolling.
Um. On two. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I guess the fire pike would be
That's
twos.
true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. On tools. So this is the thing, you know. All the list when you just look at it, okay, it's like a weird. It's like why you have 1 unit of each, and but actually everyone has a special purpose. Let's say shining spears. Okay, this is mounted. detachment. Sure, they can be in here, but also, I have in my list designing stage. Also, I noticed I don't have much really. Only one unit of fire dragon is not enough. Sometimes they are not reliable, as you know. So you need a reroll of 5 or 4. It's not always you can roll 5 or 4. Huh? So I need a little more reliable things to counter monster and vehicle army. So okay, let's go to check out the shining spear. And the shining spear, they are quite good actually. They go through walls and they have quite a high AP shooting and close combat. And flat 3 damage is quite threatening. But the problem, sort of, not problem, an issue is, again, the heating is not reliable because 3 sometimes it can get tricky. That's why with the faster on foot, all these problems solved. That's why for me, faster is like a auto include. And that 2 plus basically what it did is for any hard target, anything, I mean, knight, a big monster, a big vehicle, let's say T12 vehicle, is normally difficult to hit, or they have a counter stratagem, right? They have smoke, they have this and that. They give you -1 to hit. When that happened, you have a faster, you can deal with all these problems, and it can single-handed increase 16.6% of your success rate to hit the target first before you can even talk about wounding. So for me, it's quite important, because let's say war worker, you have 2 bright lines or whatever you have, you roll 3 to hit is not always guaranteed. But with the 2 to hit, it's almost guaranteed, right? You have 83 to 84% chance to hit it target. So of course it's much better.
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you're kind of turning my mind for the Farseer, honestly, in Windrider Host, because I think you're right. I think it just gives you that guarantee of not only being able to, hit better in general, but also just allowing you greater flexibility in that your army has a lot of full rerolls, and sometimes you need to fish for sixes. And that +1 to hit really helps with that because you're going to miss less when you reroll all the dice on the second time around trying to look for those sixes. So the downside
Yeah.
of rolling all your dice instead of just the ones that miss is drastically
Mm.
reduced. So that is pretty
And
interesting.
also Proxy, not only for Wind Riders, for my Dark Reaper, for Shining Spear, even for Fire Dragons. Now they hit everything on 2.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't hit a monster or vehicle, they hit on 3. Let's say let's say Terminator. Okay, 5 Fire Dragon throw 3 to hit. I mean, you could easily miss 2 of them. That's valuable shots.
Right.
You don't want to miss any of them. But now with 2 plus to hit, it's much more reliable. So this one little guy on foot can boost your whole army's shooting to one specific target. Can be a big knight, a big monster, or a 10-man Terminator unit, right? Imagine that kind of efficiency. Yes,
Yeah.
efficiency is the word I'm looking for. It's incredible.
Yeah. Only 70 points too. Very low risk. You can cast it from 18 inches, automatically goes off,
Exactly.
obviously. So, yeah, pretty cool.
Through the game, what I noticed, Proxy, nobody, let's say, okay, nobody, they even care to shoot at Fazir. You know why? Of course, I'm not putting him standing in the middle of nowhere. I always hide it behind the bit wall. So let's say come out a few millimeter. So I got a line of sight to the target I want to guide. And then, so basically from the opponent point of view, they only see a foot infantry type of model, just show a little bit face. They don't even consider to shoot him.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, very small
But
model
this
too.
little guy,
Yeah,
very dangerous. This little guy,
that's funny. I'm gonna start because
quite
I
funny.
have a Farseer that's painted up, and I never get to use them. So I'm
Try
gonna
it,
start
try
using
it.
him.
You will
Yeah,
like it. You'll
yeah,
like it.
he's cool.
Try
That's
it a
funny.
couple times. Yeah.
For
Okay.
sure.
Let's go.
So that was day one, and then
Yeah.
you know go home. You have you're up 2 wins,
We
one
went to
loss.
hotel. We went to sauna. Fill a couple beers. And we went to eating a burger and a couple more beers. And then we went back to sleep. It was perfect. Yeah. We met some friends from another city, from Jyväskylä. They have a great club there. We talked with them. We had a very nice evening among the gamer friends. And we didn't sleep too late. Yeah, we went back to Rome to sleep before 11 o'clock
Yeah,
because we want to have good energy for next day.
for sure. Yeah, because
Yeah,
you're gonna need it on day two, right? so
yeah, absolutely.
so let me ask you this: Game four,
Mhm.
Sisters of Battle,
Oh,
right?
game four. Yeah, I remember
Sisters
that one.
to me seem like a hard matchup
Mhm.
for Eldar sometimes. Have you?
Absolutely.
And it was a nail biter of a game, complete draw,
Mhm.
77
Yeah,
77, which is actually funny because
it's
it's like lucky numbers. So
incredible.
yeah, but so tell me how this game went.
Yeah. All right. Well, I had experience with sisters before, and let's say probably I played 5 times against sisters tournament and uh, practicing game. 1 out of 5, I won. So I have big chance lose to the sister. And the sister, in my opinion, is all the armies I have fought against. Sister is the worst matchup for elders.
Mhm.
One of the reason being, we have as an elder player, we have many high strength, high damage shots. Right? Let's say bright lance, the best example. A bright lance, I hit a unit, I hit a tank, I hit a vehicle, I hit this big uh, character. For example, this Volven Val. Yeah.
Mhm.
They don't even need to roll the 4+ invulnerable. They just take one die from the so-called miracle die. They just take, okay, here's a 4 for you. That's it. Doesn't matter how hard you roll to hit, roll to wound. They just take a miracle die. That's it. Blocked. Nothing gonna happen.
Yeah, they're
This
pretty
and
tough.
now they have changed the data system last year. Before that, it was even more horrible because they can use almost endless amount of miracle dice on savings, on their hit, on their damaging. It's like on their advance. They don't need to
Right.
roll advance. They just take a die. Okay, this tank gonna move 6 inches for advancing. Nowadays, it's one miracle die for one unit per phase. Let that sink into you. So they can literally use as many miracle dice as their amount of units in one phase. And for each individual unit, they can use multiple miracle dice through one turn. It's horrible to fight against.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Yeah, because I remember last
And
year when we had an
yeah,
interview last year, we were complaining about them last
yeah,
year.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's slightly better than before because now they can use only one miracle dice for one unit per phase. A
Yeah.
little better, slightly better. Yeah. Okay, let's go. Uh, the opponent, his detachment is what is called the Bringers of Flame, something like that. Yeah,
Mhm.
Bringers of Flame.
Right.
And that, if you have not encountered that, please remember from now on, it shoots like a hell. It shoots like a hell, almost like the Empire's Children. The
Right.
whole army, all units at once and shoot. all units. That's why if you okay, I don't know if no, you maybe you can't see him up on the list. He has the three emulators. That's a sister transport and one rhino and three more castigators like cannons. So basically seven tanks. Yeah. So yeah, seven tanks. And then many small units which sitting in the tank. Was it the three Melta units and also some flamer units, like a four flamer sitting in Rhino. So basically, the Rhino moving around, advancing, and flame everyone within 12 inches once he stops. Think about that. So basically, they go so far, 12 inches plus 6. I told you, Miracle Die 6, they can just use it for advance. I say that's basic. The vehicle moves 16 to 18 inches. Then they can disembark another 3 inch. Then basically they can see everything.
Yeah.
Then they shoot
Insane.
so hard, so hard. If you are within 6 of the unit, we including the tank and the disembarkation unit in there. If you are within 6, there's strength +1.
Yep.
Then they have other tricks like a +1 to hit or +1 to wound or oh my god, it's like they shoot so hard. And we've had this mm, search and destroy, yeah, deployment. And when I saw his list, they have so many tanks and so many units around. I know I cannot do the fixed anymore. No, this is the only game among 5 rounds I did tactical as normally as everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed that. I noticed that you went tactical this game, but that makes sense against Sisters because they have so many units that can
Yes,
screen. They have things that can, come down via deep strike, rapid ingress, just to screen you out. So makes sense.
easily. And because it's mainly because of deployment, the search and destroy. You see how small it's just 1/4 of a map. I mean, of the whole map.
Right.
Too small. You just need a couple times stay a little behind to shoot, and then couple units disembark. Just spread out a little bit. I have no way to 6 inch destroy. That's the only reason I decided. Okay, let's go tactical, and that was a correct call. Otherwise, I will be doomed. I will not get any. It's a possibility I don't get any secondary.
Yeah, you scored pretty well too in secondaries this game, despite there being
It's okay.
you know,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. That game was really hard. I have to tell all my fellow elder players. If you see the Sisters of Battle, they play this particular detachment, Bringers of Flame. Be careful, hide your unit. Be very careful calculating. Okay, let's say I can come out, I can send my Fire Dragon, go out, shut down Overwatch, easily destroy a tank. Easily. But then what? They will be completely destroyed next turn. Completely. And they're gonna destroy you while they're sitting in the tank.
yeah, from the
This
safety
what
of
this means when I want to destroy something, I have to really calculate, okay, which unit go. So minimum effort, minimum exposure. Because whatever units I go out, let's say I send 3 units to go out, do something, okay? Then all three probably gonna be totally dead when his turn starts. That's why at some point he send in 1 or 2 tank, then disembark, whatever target they can see, dead. And then of course on my turn, I kill these guys. And then I have to place my units in such angle I don't give any chance for his further unit. He has 4 or 5 tanks, just like a what's the English word? 4 or 5 tanks, just chill behind his uh, half field.
right.
Basically, he's looking for a chance. Like sharks. Imagine like sharks just swimming behind behind the middle field line. Basically, whatever units I send out in next their turn, they're gonna move, advance, and shoot every single one. That is his tactic. And I was so careful. I usually I'm a very careful player because I hide my units well. But in that game, I was extremely careful. And that's why I could make it to a draw. Otherwise, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's a very hard
Like
army to fight against for
very
Eldar
hard.
because you're squishier
Yeah.
than they are overall.
Where you call it squisher in a way. T3. They
Yeah,
are also, but they have much more tricks because of the miracle dice.
right, right. So it makes them just
And the,
a little more durable.
yeah, very, very lethal. You never underestimate Sisters of Battles, especially when there's a good player. Oh,
Yeah.
you, you don't even know what to hit you.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, a
And
good sisters player
yeah,
will route you within a couple turns. Yeah.
easily. In one turn, I want you. I remember. Can you take the scorn sheets look? In my secondaries, was it the fourth turn or the last turn? I had a draw like here first assassination, then I discarded,
Assassination,
and then I
yeah.
cut it.
I think
Was it
that's
the fourth
turn
turn or fifth
4.
turn?
I think it's turn 4.
Yeah, okay, turn four. He's in Caesar battles, in every list, competitive list, there will be this character called Malvin Val, and with three is the Balagon warsuits. So these four models together, they're like a super standard and must-have unit for any sisters players. And that unit, my friend, they can do anything. They can kill anything, and they can survive anything.
Yeah.
It's like it is not ridiculous.
Oh, 100%. They're
So
a really annoying unit to go up against.
unbelievable. So what happened in the fourth turn is he really sent that unit deep into my side, into my left flank. There's an objective marker. They killed everything they can see on the marker, then they took the marker. Okay, I mean objective. So I have on my side of the battlefield, my left flank sitting these four models. And then I draw that assassination. And what was the other one?
The other one
Was it? I
was, it
can't.
looks like to me it's tempting target.
Yes, that is after I discarded assassination because I said, okay, there's no way I can kill this Molten Wall, so forget about it. Then I draw another one. Then I discard it with a CP. Then I got a tempting target, which is even worse. Of course, my opponent chose that objective as a tempting target. Now it's not only just assassination. I have to kill the whole unit.
Oh, God.
That was so ridiculous. Okay, fine. I'm like that. If there's no choice, okay, then let's go all in.
Right.
I was planning to leave that unit completely out. I'm not even looking at it. I feel focus on something else. But now I have to do it. There are too many points together. Okay, fine. So I remembered it was a very desperate round. I put my Farseer, Eldar, Guide and Doom, and then one unit of Banshee, basic Banshee. My Altar Banshee already died there. Basic Banshee start preparing, getting close. Was it like 7, 8 inches away, ready to charge? And then I have one Wind Rider left from a 6-man one. Okay, that one also getting ready to shoot. Then I get one of my Warlock Skyrunner with the Distractor, also 12 inches away. So that's all the resources I have at that moment. Was it also one or two Dark Reaper? Anyway, everything I can spare, everything pointed to that unit. Okay, so and guided and doomed. And I managed first shots. I managed to kill one of these war suits. So the character and two more war suits still left. And then I realized something. You know what is it? Our drat can shoot. precision anti-character 4+. Remember that?
Oh yeah, Mind War. Yep.
Yes, famous mind war.
Right.
I was like, oh shit, let me shoot with that. Of course, I told him, this is precision anti-character 4+. Then we did what we did, and then this character, this moment one, failed the save. So was it D6 damage? I rolled a 3. Fine, no big deal, right?
Right.
I took okay. The uh, the guy took 3 damage, but you know what next thing happened beautifully because this character has taken damage. So all the continuously failed wound save, which damage come in, will all go from him. You follow me?
Because you had other precision attacks, or
No. Because this model has already taken damage. You have to taken you continue taking damage from that model,
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I
right?
could be wrong, but I think characters are immune to that.
Okay, we can double check.
Yeah.
We can double check. But the idea, why I mentioned, no, I also was first confused. I said, yeah, then okay, so you have taken damage. We can check, but in a way, there's no difference. Why? Because I took out the whole unit.
Nice. Nice.
That was so desperate, so desperate. Never has been so desperate. That's really like one unit, one guy from the Wind Rider, my warlock even have to shoot a strength of 5, a
Oh, that's
flamer
funny.
basically.
Yeah.
And the most funny thing is the precision thing that even the flamer AP1, right? Even that AP1 is neutralized because of the what is it? The cover set. I
Yeah.
said, yes, of course, but that's the best I can do. But you guess what? Before the warlock shoots, the whole unit, that time only a war shield left, one wound left. That's it. Ah, shit. Okay, this is the only thing I got, and I wrote number of attacks. Of course, it's a 1. It's a D6, right?
Yeah.
Of course, it's 1. Oh shit, this is not happening. Okay, fine. I wound you. Okay, take your save. No AP because there's cover save, and the guy was it 2+ to save, and then of course he rolled a 1.
Nice.
It was so ridiculous. I was like,
Divine.
wow, we
Divine
both like,
intervention. Yeah.
it's just unbelievable. So with all the combined effort, we killed everything on that objective, and then we got all the points. I think that was the base. In the end, we got 77 to 77. It was so beautiful. It was so
Yeah.
fun.
That is a beautiful game when a game ends like that, when it's just a draw, straight up draw, but it's anything could have happened. Those are the best games for
Anything
sure.
could happen.
That's
Yeah,
great. Scorched Earth too, which is harder for some people to play. That's funny.
yeah. It is. It is. Yeah. And
Okay.
actually,
And
I was the second one. I was second. Yeah, my opponent moved first. That's why in my last turn, like 5B, I managed to control the no man's land objective, destroy the tank, which I got to bring it down. Also, I managed to burn some, objectives. So I got a lot of points in the last turn in the 5B for me. That's why I managed to get a draw.
yeah. Well, your next game's also a draw. Blood Angels.
Yeah,
Which is
87 to 87.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's quite amazing.
for me at least,
Blood
Blood
Engine, yeah.
Angels is an interesting matchup, and it's a pretty even
Mhm.
matchup. I feel like Eldari has a lot of good things into Blood Angels, and Blood Angels have a lot of good things into Eldari, so it's pretty even in
Yeah,
that way. But he ended up going
yeah.
first, and
Yes.
How did this game go?
Uh, in this game, I can briefly tell. Um, he had he had this of course this Lemartes with a 10-man death company in Deep Strike, and also he has 3 units of sanguinary guards, 2 units of three, 1 unit of 6, and then another couple units of jump infantry with there is assault intercessors with jump packs, 2 more units. So his army is super fast,
Yeah.
super fast. And I couple years ago I played against the Blood Angel in tournament. That time I was quite a noob. I was not careful enough to screen out my backyard. I got rapid ingressed by Lamarde with a 10-man death company. So that game didn't turn very well for me. So since then, I have really learned to screen my backyard really well. And in this game also, I didn't give my opponent like a surprise, coming out from my backyard. No, no way. And again, with the combined power from guide +1 to hit, and also when the Wind Rider arrives from reserves, I can give reroll to wound, stratagem, reroll to wound, +1 AP, and combine with war workers +1 AP. I shoot the death company to the last wound from a Marde. So after all my shooting phase, after that shooting phase, whole death company is gone once they rapid ingress. Or wait a second. No, yeah, they rapid ingress, they kill 3 Windrider because I screened in a way that's the only target they can get. But then on my turn, with the shuriken cannons, I killed all the death companies, and Lamarda only has 1 wound left. But then at that moment, I don't have much other resources. So my war worker charged in, and I was planning to get to make a tank shock. But then I look at my CP. Even with Eldar, my CP was 0 at that moment, so I couldn't get a tank shock. But then we just tied there. So that game, I would say, yeah, he's very fast. He's very fast, and he's very concerned with Eldar. And when I see he has so many elite units, then I knew he won't just stay behind, screen my fixed secondaries. That's why I took the fixed secondary again. So I just squeeze one model in every single turn. So my secondary was quite flawless in this last game. And the primary was not so good, a little behind. But eventually, my opponent also ran out of time. I will still have like 20 minutes left. But although he ran out of time, but his units are in very good position, like his tanks taking objectives, and his unit are spread in the whole map. So basically, I remember he has some fifth round, even just throughout the secondary, he still scored quite many points. And of course, then I did also stretch every ability I can. So in the end, we got 87 to 87, another draw.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. Wild ending. But, you did do very
And
well on primary as well. It's just you
yeah,
just did a tiny bit better, which makes sense.
yes,
Blood Angels are a lot
yes.
tougher than Eldar, so it makes sense.
Sure, they are much tougher.
Yeah.
We're like worse than paper.
Yeah, I think we actually
And
might be the least durable faction in the game, points for toughness, like as a comparison.
possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just one wound mostly.
Yep.
A round of bolter rapid fire, we are gone.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Unless you roll crazy. I've rolled crazy before, but it's very rare.
Less,
Very
yeah,
rare.
very rare. And this
And
Sanguinor, this character is quite crazy.
oh yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
if somebody is not aware of this guy. My Banshee successfully charged into one unit of the Sanguinary guards, and I'm really ready to slice them up. But then, of course, Sanguinary came down straight into the engagement range, and he fight first and took out the whole Banshee squad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's pretty
that was
wild.
horrible.
Yeah.
Wild,
The
wild.
Sanguinor is
Eight
crazy.
attacks and all this crazy. Yeah,
He's fabulous
but
though,
eventually,
but yeah.
eventually I got him. Yeah, eventually, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's
It's,
not super durable, but he's durable enough to survive
yeah.
5-man Banshee
But
units,
that moment he came down, he make enough damage, or most important damage. And
Yeah.
that's the value. It's insane ability.
It's funny, in a recent game I was watching, one of my buddies, basically he used him a little differently. He just deep striked him down and made a 9-inch charge, you know? And he
Okay,
charged
that's
just the
confident.
worst. Yeah, he was very confident with the Sanguinor, and it was just the worst charge
Okay,
to charge into. It was like Deathwing Knights. It's like, dude, you're not going to
right.
survive that. He's not that durable. But I'm just like watching the
Yeah,
game, just amused by it. But yeah, I mean, against Eldar, he's extremely good.
sure,
Okay, so that
sure.
was your last game. That was round 5. And
Yeah,
you did pretty well in this tournament. A couple draws. You only lost once, right? To Chaos
yeah.
Demons, which is a hard
First
matchup
game.
with
Yeah.
Terraform. And you either won or drew your other games, which I think is a pretty good result
Well, I
for
win
Wind
two, two
Rider.
or two, lost one.
Yeah,
In the end, I placed 32nd among 116. It's okay.
that's great. That's a great score.
It's
I think
okay.
especially now where Eldar are, and considering your
Yeah.
matchups as well, I think that's awesome.
There's
So,
another elder player,
mhm,
Yoso. He played it's what's the deterrent? The race deterrent. That
Spirit
was quite
Conclave.
cool.
That's cool.
Yes, very cool. Yeah, that's
I dig
cool.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's really
very
cool.
nicely done.
Rates are cool.
Yeah,
I wish I enjoyed the play style a little more of the
yeah,
rates, but I like
yeah.
fast stuff. So, you know,
Yes, me too. Me too. And we have another 5 elder players. And this time, yeah, I forgot to tell you. In total, we had 7 elder players among 116, and 7 elder players. We played 6 different detachments. How wild is that?
that is wild. That is awesome as well. Because you always
That's
think
awesome,
like
right?
people are just going to play aspect hosts or they're just going to, they're going to just gravitate towards one
Yeah.
detachment, but they all play different
One guy
detachments. That's
played
awesome.
aspect host. Yeah.
Nice.
One guy aspect host. 2 guys steer console, and one crazy guy play Windrider. Was very nice. Six
Yeah.
detachment among 7 elder players.
Yeah, that's
That
awesome.
was cool.
That's super cool, dude. I love that. All
Yeah.
right. So, why
Oh,
don't you tell me a little bit about the tournament that I think, are you going to be hosting the tournament, or and when is that?
yes, yes. Me and my buddy Tony. We are the organizers for upcoming Finnish tournament in 2 months.
Okay, yeah, cuz it's pretty close. It's
So,
in what, March?
yeah,
Yeah.
the last weekend of April,
Oh, okay, April.
and
Gotcha.
it's gonna be the team tournament. It features 22 teams, 110 players. It's gonna be the biggest team tournament in Finland history. Finland 40K history.
Wow. Yeah, cuz you ran this tournament last year, did you not? Right?
Last year in September, we ran the single tournament.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, And this in springtime we plan springtime team tournament, autumn time single tournament. That's the plan for this year. And
Nice.
this time we were quite lucky enough to get a lot of attention after last tournament. All the players who attended really liked the way how we do it because it was in a spa and it's a very nice sports hall with all the premium facility, all the eating, spa next to you in a matter of couple minutes. So there's a once one of the my furniture buddy he finished the game early enough, then he went to a spa for half an hour. Then he came back with a bathrobe, back to the back to the tournament.
That's so funny.
That was
That's great.
wild. Yeah.
Well, that sounds
So
really cool.
we
That sounds really cool.
yeah, it's a weekend, like for most of players, like a party, it's like a gathering, a celebration. That's how I see it.
Right.
That's how I want to go to a tournament. I mean, come on. I know I'm not gonna win the tournament, especially after the first round. I'm sure I'm not gonna win. And I told every opponent from second to the last, I said, okay, since we are playing this game, probably we are not winning the tournament. So why don't we just relax, have a good laugh on whatever comes, and we talk through. Because sometimes you say, okay, can I do this? How about I do that? Like you need to discussion. You play by intent. You don't just I'm being silent. Then
Yeah.
actually, okay, don't move. I'm gonna shoot you this or I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You don't win anything. You don't lose anything. Just have fun. That is really my mentality. I,
Yeah.
I I go there to meet friends. I go there to meet new armies I have never played against with. So please tell me what are the dangerous stratagems I need to know? What are the special combos you're going to do? So, you know, that's how we play in Finland. So then it's like you are against each other, but at the same time you are also helping each other to grow better.
Yeah.
I think it's very healthy.
Yeah, 100%. You want to make sure that both players are having a good time, that it's a fun experience, and so forth. Yeah, I totally agree with that. I wish more
Mm.
communities played that way, you know? And it's
Yeah,
something that's
that's
starting to
influence.
spread more and more. But
Mm.
you'd be surprised. There's a lot of communities that just don't like to play like that. They like to play everything close to the chest. I'm not going to tell you anything
Mm.
unless you ask specifically, and so forth. So it's good that you guys play
At
like that.
least in my tournament, and the tournament we are organizing, our organization is called Saima Gaming Finland, and we promote this kind of very open, transparent, and honest gentlemanship,
Yeah.
through the tournament. Because again, even we have over 100 players, only one guy can win the tournament.
Right.
It's like we most of us, we learn something. I like to I like to get a very strong opponent. Even though I lose to him, doesn't matter. I can learn a couple points, which can benefit me for the rest of my gaming life. Imagine that. So why I was like being salty on, for example, I told you I had this one moment, the war worker. I hit on two, won't on two. Okay, I hit fine, but I rolled double one. Laugh at it, make a joke.
I
What
mean,
else
yeah.
you can do?
Yeah. What else exactly? What else can you do? That is true.
Yeah, actually,
Too many
yeah.
people, I think, get wrapped
I,
up in, oh my God, I rolled terrible, and they let it affect them for the rest of the game. It's like, what's the point?
no,
You're
don't,
there to have
don't,
fun.
no. Yeah, dice are dice. You sometimes roll hot. I sometimes also say, like I remember once one opponent made like a 14 wounds on me. I need to roll 14 4+ invulnerable save. And guess what, Proxy?
You rolled them.
I fucking saved all 14. All of
Nice.
them. I was like, no fucking way. I checked till the last one. Hey, what the heck?
You know what? You want to
14
hear
4+ at
something,
one go.
dude? You want to hear something crazy?
Tell me.
I charged
Tell me.
Lycus and a
Yeah.
couple warp spiders into
Yeah.
a Moloch and a
Yeah.
squad of Hormigons.
Oh
Just
my God.
because I was praying that Lycus would survive
Yeah.
to tie them up to win the
Hmm.
game the next turn. And I was like, all right,
Yeah.
the warp spiders are dead. I'm already thinking of mine, they're gone. But Lycus maybe
Yeah.
survives. So he rolls, and he rolls great. He rolls amazing. He
Mhm.
hits most of his attacks. He says, okay, you're going to take, 7 invols from the Moloch or Trigon or whatever, and you're going to take
Okay.
12 or 11 4-ups from the Hormigons. I proceed to roll nothing less than a 5. I save
Okay.
every single save. No warp spiders die. I hit back and do like 3 wounds to the.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it was
Imagine.
wild. Yeah, it was so wild.
Mhm.
So, I mean, yeah, it
Those
happens.
are the moments.
Yeah, it happens. And
It
he just
happens.
shook my hand right then and there. He's like, damn. What can
Yeah.
you do? You know?
Laugh at it.
Luck.
Have
Pure
fun.
luck, but very fun. Yeah,
Mhm.
and that's part of the game. That's part of the fun of the
Very
game,
fun.
you know?
Exactly. Exactly.
By the
That's
way,
great.
I know I didn't comment on it earlier, but I really love the look of
Yeah.
your Eldar. They look really cool,
Ah,
really
thank
vibrant.
you. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, this come from my own mind, and little by little, because first you put few units. Oh, I like that color. Then later on, more and more units towards that direction. Actually, you see some of the foot soldiers, they are quite different color. Those things are painted 15 years ago.
Yeah,
I didn't want to change them because that's part of my past or past. You know,
right.
I didn't want to like strip the color, but no, it's a part of the history. So I kept it. And that's why some of them the color is quite different, but still, it's
That's a cool way to think
it's,
about it.
it's
I like it. I like it. Well, you
yeah.
were a much better painter than I was when I was a kid.
Ah, no.
So yeah,
Thanks.
those old Howling Banshees look really
Yeah,
cool. Yeah, those are cool.
yeah, they're all metal. Most of my infantries are metal models still.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, the metal models are
Yeah,
underrated. I really like those. They're cool.
it's cool. It's fun. Come on, even if the guy is not an elder player, they don't even know what other model they're playing against. You just tell
Yep.
them maybe the very famous one they know. Most they don't know.
Right. 100%
But the
they don't
metal
know.
model,
Yeah.
fine. My Eldred is a metal one, and also my Fazir also a metal one.
Yeah, I saw
They
that.
have been with me for
I saw
many
that.
years. They have been they have been fighting with me through Latin America. So I lived there for some years, and then I brought to there. Then when I came back to Finland, I brought back to Finland. They
Nice.
have been with me fight through the world.
That's wild. I wish I still had my original Eldrad. I wish I still had him.
I
Yeah,
still have. Yeah,
that's cool.
that's cool. Good man.
Alrighty. Well, thanks
Anything
for.
else? Anything else you have?
What was that? I'm sorry.
And anything else you want
Oh,
to
I
ask
was I
or
was gonna say, no, just thank you. Thank you for coming on the channel.
yeah.
Really
Oh,
appreciate it.
thank you, man.
I always like our talks. I think
Yeah.
honestly they're very helpful for a large part of the community. I've always said this,
Oh,
but meta
yeah.
chasing I don't think is the way to become a better player just by going on the internet copy pasting something
Mm.
someone else ran.
No,
Like
no,
you
it's
said, I
not
mean,
yours.
exactly. It's not
It's,
yours. You don't know how it works, and it's going to take you
mm.
more effort to make that list work than,
Actually, Proxy.
you know.
Let me add one more. Let me add 1 minute.
Yeah.
The thing is, what is the fun, in playing this game? It is a very complicated game. Take lots of time and money and effort. And for me, at least, it's for me, the most interest is you put your own mind and understanding in work. You work out a list that almost like only you can operate, and that for me, I can make me very proud. I give
Right.
it to another elder player. He doesn't. He knows, let's say, 60, 70% how this works, or less. I would be very proud of that. It's
100%.
like because this is your making. This is yours. In the whole world, only you can know to the bone how this list works, and that for me is the pride. That that's the satisfaction.
Yeah, absolutely. The list is great, honestly. It has flavor, it has a competitive spirit, and I think it's really strong and it definitely worked out for you. So, thank you
Yeah,
so
no,
much
lucky
for coming
also.
on once again.
No,
I'm going
thanks,
to
man. Pleasure,
absolutely. I'm going to
pleasure.
put all the information, and if you can go and send me the rest of that information from that tournament that you're going to be hosting in a couple months, I'm going to put that
Oh
in the
yeah, yeah,
description as well,
right.
just so that people can click on it, find out more about it,
Yes,
and
thanks.
see
I
if
will
it's
send you the PCP link
yeah,
so they
for
can
sure, for
check
sure. I'll
out. Yeah,
include that. Awesome. Okay, well,
thanks,
thank you
man.
so much, Kim. I
Appreciate it.
appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.
Okay,
Have a good one.
okay, buddy. Take care.
You too.
Yeah, ciao, ciao.